I'm really excited for today's video. I'm finally going to release the automated triangular arbitrage trading bot for Bybit Spot Exchange. Now, before you continue watching this video, I suggest you to watch part 1 and part 2 of the series before watching this one, because I've covered a lot of details that I do not want to repeat again in this video. So watch part 1 and part 2 and then come back to this one, which is part 3. Now, I leave a link in the description box where you can download this tool, and we have an executable file created for each operating system, just like we did with version 2. And you also have this pre-built folder, which is required for these executable files to run properly. So do not delete this folder. And to start the bot, you just have to double click the executable file and just open this URL in the browser. Now, if you notice this folder, when we started the bot, two additional folders got created. One is tradesdb and the other one is config.db. Do not delete these folders because it's going to store the data as we keep using the bot. So let it be. Just whenever you're done using the bot, just close this black screen and rerun this executable file, and that's it. Now, this is the updated interface. We'll talk about all the options in a minute, but I just want to highlight that in the previous version, we had to go back and forth between the black screen and the UI. So that won't be necessary in this version. I've added a lot of notifications to guide you as to how to navigate this website. Okay, let's start from the beginning. So when you start the bot for the first time, you will get a pop-up that you have to apply the configuration and then to start the bot. So you can run the bot in two settings. Either you can just run it as a scanner where you just want to see the opportunities on this tab, or you can run it as a bot which automatically trades when an opportunity is identified. So let's start with the very basic. So we already did this in version 2, but let's do it again here. So first we specify the market. So I'm just going to start with the USDT. Again, you can specify any market, and then I'm going to specify the amount as 20. This is the starting amount that we use to calculate the arbitrage, the price and all those details. And then I want to show the top 5 entries. Again, watch part 2 video, guys. I explained these settings in detail in that one, so I'm not repeating myself again. And let's leave profit threshold and all the other settings for now. And I'm going to disable the trading bot for now and just hit apply. Okay. As soon as you hit apply, you get a pop-up that config is updated and the bot is trying to establish the Bybit WebSocket connection. So let's wait for this connection to be established. It will take a few seconds. That's it. So established. Now we should see the opportunities rolling in here. Awesome. So these are calculated for 20 US dollars, and this is the all the opportunities are calculated for 20 US dollars, and because we specified the top 5 entries, you would see top 5 entries on this page. So this is what we had for version 2, right? So now in version 3 we have few additional settings that allow us to automatically trade when an opportunity is identified. Okay, so let's put in these other settings. So let me walk you through what these other settings are. Starting with profit threshold. Profit threshold is the minimum profit that you want to trade on. So each opportunity has a PNL associated with it, right? So if you set it to 1, then the bot would only trade opportunities that are above 1%. So only opportunities that are above this threshold are traded. Okay. Next setting is max total. So this indicates how many trades you want to do with this configuration. So I'm just going to set it to 1. So these are safety features, guys. So that you don't keep on continuously trading for every opportunity. So you want to set some controls as to how many trades you can execute, just to protect your account. So these are just fail safe settings, you can say. And then next one is max concurrent. So how many concurrent trades do you want to allow? So this concurrency is important, right? For example, let's say you have 100 US dollars and you set the amount to 100 US dollars, then you can only trade one opportunity at a time, right? Because you cannot trade two opportunities at the same time with $100 if you only have $100 in your account. So you need to set the max concurrency. So this decides the concurrency. So you need to set the max concurrency based on your account balance and the total and the trading amount. Okay, and then here we specify the API key and secret key. All right, I've copied my keys. You need to enable spot trading on these API keys, and also I suggest you to restrict, this is not necessary, but I suggest you to restrict the access of these API keys to the IP address wherever you're running this bot. That way, you can be extra safe. even if your keys get into the wrong hands, they won't be able to use it because of the IP restriction. So I highly suggest you to turn it on. Then we have a setting whether to enable or disable auto trading. So I'm going to turn it to enable. And now with this configuration, whenever there is a profit threshold of 1, whenever we see a opportunity which is over 1% profit, then the bot will make a trade. Now obviously, right, triangular arbitrage, it's very unlikely that you would find 1% profit. So for just for demonstration purpose, I would keep the threshold as 0.0. Maybe I'll just change it to 0.02 because I've seen 0.03 over here. So I'll change it to 0.03. So I'll just set it to 0.03 just to demonstrate how the trade works. Okay, and max total is 1, so it would only do one trade with this setting, and just hit apply. So when you hit apply, again config is updated and the bot will reestablish all the WebSocket connections. So let's give it a few seconds. Sometimes I see that this pop-up occurs twice, but just ignore it because yeah, it's finished. Okay, now you see the opportunities rolling in. So we wait for an opportunity with above 0.03% profit. And whenever there's an opportunity, the bot will automatically trade and you will get a pop-up over here. Awesome. See, hooray, a new trade has been processed. So a new trade got executed. If you go to the trades tab, you will see the details of the trade. Now, because we only set max total to 1, even if there are any additional opportunities, the bot would not trade. So you will see that if there is another opportunity exceeding 0.03%, then you will get a pop-up that a trade is missed because of the max total setting. So to reset that, you need to apply the settings again, and the bot would start all over again. All right, so let's look into the details of the trade. So I'll explain how to read this table. So all the columns are pretty much the same, except instead of price, we have transaction details. So let's understand this. So we start with USDT and we perform a buy operation to convert USDT to mana. Okay, and we specified the amount as $20, right? So this is the amount that was taken into account. So whenever you place a market order with $20, not all the amount is taken into account when you execute a trade. So some portion is left out because of the minimum trade size, or there could be n number of factors, but not entire amount is factored in when the trade is executed. So this is how you would read it. So 19.9995. So this is the amount of US dollars that are taken in, and this is the fee currency, and this is the expected price. So when the opportunity is received, this was the expected price, but the trade was executed at this price. So you also get a deviation, right? You need to know how much is the price deviating from the expected PNL and the real PNL, right? So expected price and real price. So you would see the deviation over here, and once this order is executed, you got 36.21375 mana, and this is the duration of this trade. So now, why did I include duration? See, you got a notification that the trade got missed because we set the threshold to 1. So we'll just ignore these settings for now. You know what? I'll just disable this, and I'll just hit apply again so that we won't be annoyed by these pop-ups. So yeah, whenever a trade is missed, you'll get this pop-up, and if you think if you should continue trading, you can just hit apply again, and the bot will continue to trade. Okay, so let's come back to this row. So why did I include duration, right? So it's important to know how long has it taken for the trade to execute, because these are market orders, right? So you want your transaction to be executed as quickly as possible. So this, I just put it here so that maybe you would get better results if you operate on a server that's geographically closer to Bybit servers. So I just put it in here so that you can optimize the geolocation of the server wherever you're running it, maybe to get better results. Okay, there's also another reason why I did this, which I'll explain in a short while. So yeah, you put in $19 and $19.99 and you got 36.21 man out of it, and these is calculated after deducting the fees and everything. Okay, and then you would convert your mana to BTC in this transaction. So you start with 36.2 mana, and same thing here, guys. See, we got 36.2135, but because of the normalization and everything, only 32 is considered while placing the market order. And these are the fees, and this is the expected price, and this is the real price. And after that, after this transaction got executed, we got this much BTC, and the duration of this trade is 226 milliseconds. And finally, from BTC, we converted back to USDT with this transaction. We start with 0.0682 0.0000682 BTC. This is the fees, expected price, real price, and we finally got 19.93 USDT, and the duration of this trade is 231 milliseconds. So this is the expected PNL, 0.044%, whereas the net PNL is negative 0.3%. Obviously, we didn't make profit with this because the net PNL calculation takes the trading fees into account. So obviously, right, you would miss out on the expected PNL does not take trading fees into account. So what I would suggest is when you set the profit threshold, maybe set a higher value so that the even if the trading fees are deducted, you would still end up with a profit. Okay. That's pretty much it. What else do I need to cover? Okay, so sometimes what I noticed, let's execute another trade. Okay, so I'll just hit apply again, maybe 0.02%. Okay, just hit apply. I want to execute another trade. So I noticed a few, I wouldn't say errors, but it's just weird behavior with the exchange that I want to, explain if that occurs again. Okay, let's see if we get another trade. All right, we finally got a new trade. Let's go back to the trades tab. And yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to explain. So I'll turn off the bot and we'll talk about it. All right, so we have a new trade, and this is the issue that I wanted to highlight. So if you look at the net PNL of this trade, it's negative 5%, but that's unlikely, right? If you look at the price deviation, the first order, the deviation is 0%. Even the second order, the deviation from the expected price to real price is, 0%. Here also it's 0%. And even also here, right, it's very negligible. It's 196.97. It's less than, close to 0%. If that is the case, even if the trading fees is 0.1%, generally trading fees is around 0.1%. So the deviation should not be more than 0.3% or 0.4% from the expected PNL, right? Then how come this trade ended up with a 5% loss? The reason that happens is because of two factors. One, when you execute a market order, you need to execute a certain minimum threshold. So I'm running the bot with $20, right? So if you look at the minimum trade size for each of these pairs, BTC USD or ETH BTC or whatever it is, they have a certain minimum threshold. And if your normalized quantity falls slightly below that threshold, then that amount is not taken into account. So if you in this trade, if you go back to your exchange, you will see that some around $1 or $2 of BTC is left over, and it could not be executed because of this minimum threshold. So what you would notice when running this bot, especially when you're running with smaller amounts, is that there will be some residual amount left on your spot wallet after executing this trade. So what you need to do is, go back to your wallet, and there's an option on Bybit exchange where you can convert your leftover small quantities of these tokens into BTT token, and then you can convert these BTT to USDT after you accumulate enough of these tokens. So even though it is saying 5% loss here, that is really not the case, because that amount is still sitting on your exchange and not executed as part of this trade, which it should be. I believe this won't be an issue when you trade with large sizes like $1,000 or anything, but again, I would be cautious trading with that much amount, because the profit potential with triangular arbitrage is really, really small. So I haven't really tried, but I don't know how it's going to affect larger position sizes. But technically, theoretically speaking, if you have a large size, then this $1 or $2 should constitute for a very small portion of your entire order. So I believe, theoretically it should not affect your net PNL, but you can give it a try and let me know in the comment section if that is the case or not. One thing that I forgot to explain is the price deviation. So let's say you're buying something, right? And the expected price is, let's theoretically, right? Let's say the expected buy price is $100, but your real buy price is, let's say, $99. Then it's a good thing, right? So even though 99 is less than 100, it's a good thing, right? So if you're executing a buy order, then if the real price is less than the expected price, it's positive. And if you're selling something, if the real price is more than the expected price, then it's a positive. So this green and red is indicated depending on whether it's a buy order or a sell order, and whether the real price is above or below the expected price. So like I said, if the real price is less than the expected price and it's a buy order, then it will show up in in green. Let's just take this, right? So it's a sell order, and you can see expected price is 1896.94, but the real price is slightly above the expected price. So that's the reason it is showing in green. But yeah, that is how you would interpret these colors while looking at the deviation. Now, this is another issue that I want to talk about. If you look at the duration for all these trades, it's around a few hundred milliseconds, but this one took around 2000, more than 2000 milliseconds to execute. So why is that the case? Let me explain this in detail. So this I find to be a big downside of Bybit, but again, we just have to operate within the framework of what the exchange allows, right? So let me explain what the issue is. So whenever you place a market order on Bybit, the Bybit trading system will convert the market order into a limit order for matching. Okay, let's compare with Binance. So whenever you place a market order, the response of that order should contain all the fills. The order should be executed immediately, and the response should contain all the fill details. But that is not the case with Bybit. So because it is converted into a limit order, it can take a few seconds for the order to be fully processed. So that is a big drawback, right? So when you place a market order, you expect the order to go through immediately, but that is not the case. So it can take upwards of 2 seconds for an order to process, which I think is a huge red flag, especially when you're doing arbitrage, trading, where you expect the order to go through really quickly. So yeah, this is something that I found to be an issue with Bybit, but this is just for $20, right? Imagine if you're trading with a larger size. It shouldn't take like 10 seconds or something, but I'm wondering what this duration would be if you're trading with maybe triple digit position sizes. Finally, if you want to delete any of these orders, you can just hit this delete button, and this order will be automatically deleted from the database. Again, when you refresh the bot, it won't exist anymore. Okay. So one last thing that I want to cover before I wrap up this video: the configuration settings are persistent even after you close the bot, because we have a database included in this version. So next time when you close the bot and restart again, and if you go back to the interface, you will see that settings are intact. But when the bot is turned on for the first time, even if auto trading is enabled, the bot wouldn't start unless you hit the apply for the first time. So it's just a safety feature, so that like when you boot the bot for the first time, you'll see this pop up that you need to, even though you see the settings, you need to hit the apply for the bot to take into effect. So yeah, but the settings are persistent. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So that's how you use the bot. You can run it in two modes. You can disable the auto trading and just look for opportunities, or you can put in your keys and enable the trading and automatically trade